Her doctor looked her in the eyes and said, "Your diabetes is genetic. There's nothing you can do about it." But here's the thing about beliefs. What we believe isn't always the truth. What if her diabetes wasn't genetic at all? What if it was a symptom behind something much deeper that no one had bothered to look for? Her doctor looked her in the eyes and said, "Your diabetes is genetic. There's nothing you can do about it. Just manage it." And Kayla believed him. For 7 years, she believed her doctor. She believed it when she gained weight on the hormone medications they prescribed. She believed it when the 3 functional medicine doctors couldn't help her. And she believed it when she wrote on her intake form with me, and I quoted, "I think my diabetes is genetic. That's just how it is." But here's the thing about beliefs. What we believe isn't always the truth. So today I'm going to show you how Kayla, a 55-year-old postmenopausal woman who had been failed by 3 expert doctors over the last 7 years, was taking progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone, and she was convinced that her diabetes was written into her DNA, completely reversed all her conditions in just 1 year together with me. So what 3 functional medicine practitioners couldn't figure out in 7 years, we solved it in 12 months. And by 6 months, her hormones were already perfectly balanced without a single hormone supporting supplement. So by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why everything you've been told about genetic conditions might be the very thing that's keeping you sick. So let's dive in. My name is Charlene. I'm a root cause functional health practitioner, and I'm specializing in solving impossible cases of stubborn weight loss resistance and mystery symptoms. I help women who have tried everything, and I mean every single thing, to finally get answers when every doctor has failed them. And Kayla, she definitely was the definition of "I have tried everything." When she came to me, she had been battling her health for 7 years. She was postmenopausal, 55 years old, starting weight 165 pounds. And her symptoms, they read like a textbook. Everything made her life miserable. Disrupted sleep, she was waking up several times a night. Her hot flashes, they just came out of nowhere in the most uncomfortable situations. 7 years of chronic joint pain and inflammation. Stubborn weight that just wouldn't budge no matter what she did. Stiffness in her fingers, so she could barely grip things. And her energy was so low, she described herself to be a forced couch potatoes. Missing out on the things she used to love, being active, to travel, and to hike. So she went to doctors, and every single doctor told her the same thing. This is just menopause, this is just aging, this is just genetics. And because she heard it so many times, she started to believe it. She wrote on her intake form, so her actual words were, "My diabetes is genetic, it runs in my family, this is just how it is." But here's the thing that Kayla didn't know yet. What if her diabetes wasn't genetic at all? What if it was a symptom behind something much deeper that no one had bothered to look for? Before Kayla found me, her doctors ran hormone panel through a basic blood work panel. And right there was the first massive mistake. I'm going to show you exactly why in a second, and once you see it, you will never look at hormone testing the same way again. So based on those results, they put her on a hormone cocktail, progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. And now here's what happened next. And I want you to really hear this. Instead of feeling better, Kayla gained 5 to 6 pounds almost overnight. Her energy didn't improve. It got worse. She went from being tired to being a full-blown couch potato who couldn't help get through the day. The medications that were supposed to help her were making everything worse. And when she went back to her doctors, they just tried to adjust the dosage. More supplements, more hormones, higher dosages, running the same basic tests over and over again. So 3 functional medicine doctors, 7 years, thousands of dollars, 0 results. And here's the issue that nobody explained to Kayla. Traditional hormone blood tests, they only show you one thing, and that is your hormone high or is it low? That's it. They will not tell you what pathways are these hormones traveling down. Are the precursors being converted properly? Are the enzymes in these pathways too fast or too slow? And what's happening in your liver and in your gut? The places where the hormones get actually metabolized. So running basic blood work hormone panels doesn't work at all, because hormones don't work in isolation. It's like checking if your car has gas but never looking under the hood to see if the engine is on fire. And Kayla's hormones weren't the root cause. They were a symptom of a root cause that no one was looking for. So now here's where I have to be honest with you about something. When Kayla and I had our initial consultation, she almost didn't sign up for my program. And I honestly don't blame her. After years of disappointments, 3 practitioners who promised results but delivered nothing, after spending thousands of dollars on protocols that made her gain weight, she looked at me and basically said, I will probably be the one case that you can't help. She was so convinced that she would be the exception, the one person that was just too broken, whose genetics just were too strong and whose situation was just too complicated. And honestly, that's not the first time I've heard it. I've heard it from almost every single woman who comes to work with me. Because when you've been failed that many times, hope almost feels dangerous. But I told Kayla what I will tell you right now. You're not the exception. Your body is not broken. You've just never had someone look in the right places and following the right order. So Kayla took the leap, and that's when everything changed. So we ran this time comprehensive testing on Kayla, not just basic blood work, but deep functional lab testing. And here's what we uncovered. First, her gut was a disaster zone. Her gut was completely out of balance. She was deficient in the beneficial bacteria, the ones that help regulate your metabolism, control your cravings, and actually signal your body to burn fat instead of storing it. And at the same time, she had a massive overgrowth of the harmful ones, the ones that create inflammation, trigger weight gain, and keep your body locked in fat storage mode. She had parasites that had been likely there for years. On top of it, super high proteobacteria in her gut. Now, for those who don't know, proteobacteria are gram-negative bacteria with a very tough outer shell. It's made of endotoxins. And these particles survive even after the bacteria die. So they enter the bloodstream, they trigger massive inflammation. And to give you a reference point, they are so tough that they survive boiling for 30 minutes. So they can actually stop your lymph vessels from pumping, they make the gut leaky, and this is why the inflammation spreads far beyond just the gut. Secondly, her liver was completely overburdened. We found sky-high mycotoxins, which are toxic compounds from mold exposure. And that's what most people don't understand about mold toxins. They don't just sit there, they attack your body on multiple fronts. First, they go after your liver. Your liver is your main detox organ, but when the liver is overburdened with mycotoxins, it can't do its job. It can't detoxify, it can't metabolize your hormones properly. It's too busy fighting mold. Second, they tank your immune system. And when your immune system is suppressed, pathogens have a free path. Your parasites, your bacteria, your viruses, they just can overgrow without any resistance. So your body becomes a breeding ground. And third, this is the one no one talks about. Mold toxins go directly into your fat cells. And they don't just hide there, they continue to replicate. And as they replicate, they trigger your body to generate more and more and more fat to store them in. So your body keeps creating new fat cells just to contain the toxins. It's a vicious cycle that makes weight loss nearly impossible until you address the mold. Next, her metabolism was completely wrecked. Severe insulin resistance, leptin resistance, her blood sugar was completely dysregulated. She was diabetic, but not because of genetics, because her body watched in a constant inflammatory chaos. And here's the connection nobody made for her before. Her hormones weren't the problem. Her hormones were the victim. When your liver is clogged with pathogens and toxins, it can't metabolize hormones properly. When your gut is overrun with infections and leaky, it creates systemic inflammation that disrupts every hormone in your body. And when your blood sugar is out of control, your body is in a constant survival mode, and hormone balance becomes impossible. This is why the hormone medication made her gain weight. They never addressed the root cause. They just slapped a band-aid on her symptoms and called it a solution. Her doctor saw low hormones, so they gave her hormones. But they never asked why the hormones were low in the first place. They never looked at the liver that couldn't metabolize them. They never looked at the gut that was overrun with infections or the inflammation that was throwing everything off. So her body couldn't just use with what they were giving her. It just stored it as fat. So here's what we did to do it right. And this is the part most people cannot believe. We didn't give Kayla a single hormone, not one hormone supporting supplement, nothing to directly address her estrogen, her progesterone, or testosterone. Instead, we followed what I call strategic root cause sequencing. But here's what makes it different from everything else out there. It's not a cookie cutter protocol, it's not a one-size-fits-all detox program. Every single person comes to me with different root causes at different severity levels in different combinations. Kayla's root causes weren't the same as the client before her or the client after her. So her protocol protocol cannot be the same either. The sequencing is built specifically for your body, based on your test results and based on what your system can handle and in what order. And the duration of every single phase, that is tailored to the unique body too. Some women need 4 weeks on a phase, others need 12. We don't move on until your body is ready, not when some generic time list says so. So here's what Kayla's personalized sequence looked like. Number 1, the phase 1, we opened up her drainage pathways, her liver, her kidneys, her lymphatic system. We made sure her body could actually eliminate toxins before we started stirring anything up. The second phase was when we went after her specific infections, parasites, SIBO, Lyme and co-infections. We cleared out all the invaders that were hijacking her system. The third phase was focused on gut repair, restoring her microbiome, giving her digestive system a chance to function again. And then we moved into the fourth phase where we detoxed her mycotoxins so her liver could finally do its job, including metabolizing hormones properly. So this again was Kayla's sequence, built for her body based on her root causes. We worked on true root causes in the right order, alone customized to her. And 6 months later, hear it in Kayla's own words.
So happy to say that I have finally, I think I'm at like down 9 or 10 pounds.
Oh, amazing, yes.
Which is amazing. I can see it in the way my clothes are fitting. I was so pleasantly surprised. So I'm just really feeling grateful. I'm not doing the hot flashes. My hormones came back really, really clean. So that's phenomenal.
So let me show you on paper what happened. Her hormone panel, every single marker, as you can see, in the green zone. Progesterone balance, DHA balance, testosterone balance, parent estrogens, exactly where we want them. And then when we look at her estrogen pathways, 16-OH, 4-OH and 2-OH, all optimal. And remember again, no single hormone or hormone supporting supplement was used in her case. These were her body's own hormones, naturally balanced because we fixed the systems that process them. And with that, the first 10 stubborn pounds dropped for Kayla. Her hot flashes were completely gone. The energy dips at the 5 p.m. when she used to crash at the couch, gone. She has steady energy all day. She told me she's waking up rested, actually rested for the first time in many, many years. The inflammation in her hand, stiffness in the fingers, it's not part of her experience anymore. Now let's look at her metabolic markers, all in the optimal range. Her gut microbiome restored. And last but not least, the diabetes that she was convinced it was genetic. Well, if it was really written into her DNA, how do you explain that today's Kayla's markers are back in the optimal range? This is what happens when you finally address the real root causes. And with that, she finally got into her dream body, shedding 20 pounds that she thought were just part of getting older. Now Kayla is back in her dream body. So what's Kayla's story really telling you? It's telling you that hormone health isn't about hormone. It's telling you that diabetes is not always genetic. And it's telling you that when your doctors say there's nothing you can do, it really just means I don't know what else to look for. Kayla spent 7 years believing a lie. 7 years being told that her body was broken by design. 7 years gaining weight on medications that were supposed to help her. And in 6 months, by addressing the true root causes in the right order, she got results that 3 functional medicine doctors couldn't deliver in 7 years. So if you're watching this and you feel like Kayla did, if you've been told it's just menopause, it's just genetic, or it's just a part of aging, and you've spent thousands of dollars on practitioners who couldn't help you, you are not the exceptions. You're not hopeless. You've just never had someone look at the complete picture. And if you finally want to be heard, want to connect, or simply learn more about the root causes of your stubborn weight, you can find all the links in the description below. I'm sending you many blessings.
I do feel like we accomplished so much. I was just telling somebody it's the best I have felt in like 5 years, and it was not for lack of trying. I could have started this off being so skeptical, but I'd gone through so many different providers. So at some point, you're just like, oh, it's just not going to work. So thanks for bearing with me.
Of course, absolutely.